Alright, Adventures in Cardboard castles can take an unbelievable amount of variety depending on what is wanted of them. They can be peaceful town squares, dramatic arenas for courts or kingdoms, or my personal favorite role, siege battle set pieces. To these ends, castles can take a lot of different shapes. On my channel, I have shown at least 5 different castles, not including the one I made for Dominion League last year. The most basic structures of all these castles are gates, walls, and towers. The castle can be constructed out of any or all of these pieces, and which pieces the builder chooses to use completely depends on what they intend the castle to be used for. In the case of Dominion League, we were not doing as much role-playing, so our castle designs can be refined to fit our needs much better. In our case at Dominion League, we are most definitely a siege castle, which means we absolutely must have a strong front entrance and opposing front wall that protects our inhabitants from the outside invaders, from either just stabbing over the wall or coming in and plundering the flags within. However, I don't think we need towers. Castle towers are very cool and definitely look amazing, but to be honest, they are hard to build, require a lot of materials, and are basically just a really expensive pain to work with. Perhaps in the future, if we had things like siege weapons, we could mount a ballista on a tower that makes up part of the front wall of the castle. But for now, we are just far too low budget for that kind of thing, so that will be a plan in the works for a later date, perhaps. For this event, I totally think we can just get by with a strong, good front door, a nice tall front wall, and then a lower back wall that can, once again, afford to be shorter and lighter. Because the whole field upon which this game is played is designed so that people hopefully won't be surrounding the castle, but instead mostly coming at it from the front. And so we'll just make the front tall and strong, and then the back can afford to be a little shorter and weaker. But I do still believe that the castle should be a full 360 degrees enclosed. So it shouldn't have an open back. It should be totally wraparound. Given all these criteria, and my rather low budget for the event, I have constructed a plan for this castle, which I am quite optimistic about. Alright, here is my assorted collection of recently salvaged scrap wood. I have a bunch of these very thin 3-foot long boards. I think some in the neighborhood of 22 of them, 26 of them with 4 more. And then I have these longer and slightly thicker, but still pretty crappy salvaged longboards of varying lengths cut at varying angles. And I intend to arrange them in sort of wall frames like this, and then literally glue butcher paper over top of them as the actual wall surface. So they won't be hard walls, they will be soft walls, but they'll still look as good. And then, because it's paper, you can spray paint it. I am kind of thinking about different ways that I could do this sort of whole castle thing. I know for absolute certainty I want a door of some sort in the middle, but how all the rest of the walls go around it, because again, I have 5 sets of these long beams, and so I could have 5 different walls of about this same shape, though maybe some would be slightly smaller. This is close to 8 feet, or no, it's close to 7 actually. I could have 5 of these, or 4 in a door or something, or I could have less and the door could be more secure or something else. I don't really know. It's still kind of up in the air. I'm gonna lay some stuff out actually, and we'll just kind of take a look at what it seems like. I'll get back to you. All right, so I've found all of the wood that I think I'm going to use for this year's castle. It's a bunch of much lighter pieces than in previous years. It's a bunch of these 3-foot long, I believe 1/4-inch boards, and then some, of varying heights, like 1/2 inch thick or maybe inch thick boards. And all of these are going to be screwed together, and then instead of using essentially plywood walls like I did for the last one, this is going to be a lot better, I think. And the reason why it's going to be better is because instead of plywood, it's going to be butcher paper. I'm going to lay down wood glue and roll over a sheet of butcher paper on top of all of these boards. And so the walls are going to be, paper walls, basically. The Adventures in Cardboard normal castle is cardboard walls, and those are actually surprisingly durable. Paper is obviously going to be less durable, but hopefully we'll have less people, you know, actively running into it and trying to stab through it, because it'll be shorter games and people will get up to less mischief. But paper walls and these very thin boards are going to make the whole castle so much more lightweight and so much easier to build. That, and the fact that all of these boards are literally scrap, means that I will very, very easily be able to basically dispose of this castle afterwards. It'll be, you know, put together quickly, used quickly, and then taken apart and thrown away quickly as well. So very efficient castle for this type of thing. Unfortunately, it probably will not be saved for future years, but this will be an excellent tool for this year's Dominion League on August 10th, noon to 3 p.m. There it is.